Right. Yeah, welcome along, guys. Thanks for coming. So today we're going to have a look at graphic overrides and basically how they can help you manage the project either for auditing purposes. Timo, do you want something there? Hello, Timo. Oh, not sure what's happening there, but anyway, graphic overrides. So we're going to manage or look at how we can use it for auditing our project, finding errors and allowing us to fix those sorts of things easily. And the other way to use graphic overrides is sort of to enhance the drawings, to add some colors and textures and things like that to an otherwise boring drawing. So, but today we're probably going to focus more on the auditing purposes. So I will share my screen and we'll have a look at what we've done with some of the stuff on the Ratamo Hospital. Let's share the screen. There we go. So this is Ratamo. Now, to find the graphic overrides, there's two ways. One is to come up to Document and Graphic Overrides, and we can either choose graphic override combinations up here, which will give us a list of all our different combinations, or we can, the most popular ones or the top of the list sort of populate here, or we can also go direct to our graphic override rules and see what we've set up for all our rules in here. The other way is down here. So this one here takes us to all our rule sets and allows us to edit them from there. And then this one here, we can just choose which combination we want if we don't need to do any editing. So what we'll do here is I have in this project set up a few for finding issues within the building. So one of these is the fire ratings. So I've set up a rule that now then comes through and turns all of our firewalls red, green, or pink, green, or in some other floors blue, depending on their fire rating performance. So that way you can then tell quickly and simply if you've got the right wall types through the building and through the fire area. So to set up these rules, you need to come into here, and if we go in and have a look at what we've done, so these are the combinations here, the various combinations, and these are the rules that are applied within that combination. So you can have all manner of rules. It can be sometimes just as simple as one rule in here, or it could be 5, 10, 20, however many things that we are trying to differentiate between. So in this one here, we've gone and we've looking for all element types that have a fire rating, which has come from the properties of EI15. And what that will do is it will then take anything that it finds with a property listed as EI15, it will change the fill to 100%, and then it will change the foreground pen to green, and also the surface in 3D, it will change to green as well. So this one here, obviously the same sort of thing, and we've got EI30, and then that'll change everything to orange, and EI60 will change it to red, and so red. So in 2D, we can see something like this. This shows us where all our walls are, so then we can double check that we've got our walls in the correct places. You can also, as an auditing tool, you could also tell it to find errors. So just for instance, say this VS10 was not actually a fire rated wall for the type of wall we're looking for. We could set for here, so and we could actually set a wall type. So if we know that there are only 1 or 2 wall types that are EI60, we can come in here and we can choose the composite on there, and say in this instance I know we've got VS5, where are we? VS5 5.1 is a 60-minute fire rated wall. So if we say, right, so we want everything that's designated as EI60, because we could have set the property correctly, but we might have the wrong wall, and it's VI 5.1. So now what it will do is it will highlight what's happening here? It made a liar of me. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, okay, sorry. What that's done now is it's taken all of our VS 5.1 walls out and left any wall that's not VS 5.1 highlighted as a potential error. So that's something that we can then go back and check. So we also know then that these ones here, VS01 is obviously a fire rated wall. So we can come back into here and then we can add some more composite rules to this. Composite add is not hold on, that should have taken that off. So you've got to be careful too about the ands and the ors. Sometimes they just seem a wee bit counterintuitive, but so this is just saying that the composite is not a VS 5.1 and not an O1. It is also EI60 property in the fire rating, and it's any type of thing. So now we go here, and this is telling me that potentially we have some walls here that have a problem. So we can go now and fix those, find out what type they should be, and change them from there. So if we were to do this in 3D, so what this is done now is it's left everything yellow, that's not a problem, and green are the EI15, and now we've got these red walls which are potentially a problem. If we go back to our original code and remove that and that, and go back to 3D, what it's also done is the doors have a property that gives them a fire rating as well. So we can now quickly, if we had taken a bigger section, Let's take a longer section so we can sort of see what's going on. So now we can start seeing where we've put fire rated doors and things like that. So it seems that we might have some sort of, they're a higher rated wall, so yep, it's a red door. But see, we've got a problem here. We've got a VS15, and this is a 90-minute rated wall, but our door is yellow, so it's saying that we haven't got any fire rating designated to that door. So we need to now add fire rating property to that door so that it comes up properly. And I did see something else somewhere here as well. So it looks like too that we've got a door designated as fire rated, which is in a non-fire rated wall. So we can now go through and fix up all those things and avoid them being an issue in the project. So we've got another few other doors here which are fire rated in non-fire rated wall, so we can go and fix those up. Other ones that we've used were, we've got some, all those have been fixed. We had a situation where in the process of cheapening the construction, we changed a lot of wall types, and then it affected the acoustical performance and fire rating of some of these walls. So we then had to try and find a way of working out which walls were right and which walls needed fixing. So we came up with this graphic override here, which was looking for particular types of walls, construction composites where they didn't have a fire rating, and where the sound qualities had not been, or were undefined, so we hadn't set a value. So so in that category, we had options of a 48 decibel, a 44 decibel, or nothing wall. So, and the default was being undefined. So what it was going to do is look for any walls that didn't have the sound rating that were VS5. It was also going to look for VS13 and VS3 walls, and a few others, which has a custom value. So those walls didn't meet certain sound requirements. So we were looking for wall types that were in a line that needed to meet a certain requirement, but their decibel rating wasn't that. And then we were looking for all the walls that had a decibel rating of 44, same for 48, and were fire rated, and 48. And then this last one here is basically turning all the zones white. Now, when you set up the rules, the other thing to remember is that the rules take precedence from first rule to the last rule. So the first rule looks for anything that is in relation to those settings here, and then it moves on to the next rule and basically looks through everything that's left and sees if it can apply anything to that rule, and then the next rule goes to anything that's left. So sometimes you can get your rules all written and then find out that something's not working quite correctly, so you have to actually come back through and find out where what order you're processing the rules, because that then dictates how it's going to be looked at. So in this instance here, we've come in here, and what this did is it allowed me to identify all of the acoustic walls where the rack and tip met the acoustical requirements. So they're all those dark blue walls. At one point we did have some lower acoustic walls which were 44 decibels, so they came in as a light blue. And then what it's done is it's identified any walls where we have got that same construction value or construction type, but which don't need the acoustic ratings generated by that wall. So it's a wall that we could potentially have changed the wall type to reduce costs. And then we've got like these green walls. So these green walls are walls which don't meet the acoustical requirement, but are in a position where they might need acoustical ratings. So that's highlighted all the green ones. So then we were able to go through and produce a schedule which summed up the wall areas of all the different types of walls. So it gave us a schedule of, where are we, down here somewhere? So it's given us a schedule of all of the VS5 type walls, which don't need an acoustic rating. So we got that down to like 1,000 square meters of wall surface that could have been reduced. So the contractors then had the opportunity to weigh up where it was worth doing and saving that money. So that's probably a couple of handy use cases for auditing your file to find errors and stuff like that. Another way is for helping you find things so that you can make those changes as well, which I set one up for Annika, which was to do with finding the lead walls, so that she could make sure that all the walls in the sort of the, we call them the X-ray areas and stuff, had some sort of lead rating, and then she could check what it was. Oh, here we go. So that was on the first floor, I think. She could then come into this plan and whip around and see which walls had already been designated with lead protection, and it also then identified the doors in those walls. So she could then quickly see, righto, these are all blue type lead. We've got orange here and a blue here, and you know whether this one needs lead protection or not. So she had to sort of look at that, and then if we go into 3D, it quickly showed in the model exactly where the lead was, so that then she could change things as she needed. So in this instance here, so that window there is needing lead requirements, we could come in and it's going to test me trying to find the name of this and finish. Is it there? Yep, so now that's shown that that window has some sort of lead rating, so it's all right. So you can easily then quickly make all these changes and fixes on the fly without having to sort of hunt through the file for all sorts of, trying to hunt through the file manually, it's just black and white, and trying to find everything is like a nightmare. Another one that I've actually used this for, especially on this Ratamo project, was checking the ceiling heights. I sort of watched someone spend, I think, the best part of a week going through printed drawings, checking all the ceiling heights, seeing that they were accurate. And then after they'd done that, I spent about 2 hours, put together a graphic override to identify all the different ceiling heights and quickly worked out which ones were right and which ones were wrong. Not sure which one. Oh, there we go. I look up the height checker. So if we So this quickly took all the ceilings and showed us what ones were at which height. So you'll probably see all the green ones are 3 meters, all those brown ones are 2.7, those red ones are something else. We've got some black ones and blue ones. So they're all easy way to then work out where everything's at rather than checking through drawings and trying to fix it all up. And I had one other, which was the last one. Oh, okay. I did. I had to go through the vesicutter because we'd set the vesicutter up with slightly wrong minimum roof pitch. And so then I had to go and work out how to lift all the roofs up, or the roof slopes up. So I created another graphic override, which then searched for any roof with a pitch of less than 1 in 60, which is 0.95 degrees. So they're all on this Kato Kaivot layer. So it's quite simple. Turns them red. I've got them all fixed now, but if, for instance, I change this one here, it shows up as red. So again, that works in 3D. I could run through the model and I could quickly find out, right, that roof pitch is wrong, I need to fix it. And once fixed, put it the right pitch, it just turns back to the right color. So it's really, really handy tool for finding all those sorts of things. If there's things that you need to find regularly in a building, particular rooms to point out to clients, like toilets, public toilets, bathrooms, those sorts of things, you can set up your overrides to search for zones of particular names or types or all those sorts of things, to look for those. And probably got a wee bit more time left, so what we could do is look at just how we use it then as a graphical tool. So here at the moment, I'll go to the left here. We've been doing the latte peanuts, so the floor surfaces. So the floor surfaces are set up as a property in that relates to the zone. I'll show you again where that is once it's loaded. So in that zone there, we have created a property down here in the peanut called Latte and Pinta Materiali. So Ula and Susanna have been going through and assigning these to zones. And so then we turn on the graphic override. Oh, it's not a very good floor. Oh, hold on, I got the wrong graphic override. Where's left here? So that then turns all our different floor materials, different colors. This is really good also for things like, especially with hospitals, things like designating different departments. So when you set up your zones, you can have like the name and also the category. So if the category is like or it is a department, or you can have another department property as well. So you've got your categories, your zone name, and your department. So then you can start assigning these properties and then setting up graphic overrides to do certain things if it's in this department, or do certain things if it's this type of room. It's like a Vastanoto or Poitakeskus or whatever it is. So the possibilities are really endless with how you can use this. And another little handy little thing is with the, I'll go to the plant set file, is with these graphic overrides as well, and in combination with schedules, we can then create like a little legend to show what all these different colors mean. I'll just try and find the sheet here. If we go to the left, into the Charlie, this one here, and I've created a schedule that basically just looks for the different floor materials and provides a 2D view of what the material looks like, and told the schedule to group everything that's the same. So basically it just produces a table, we'll see in a minute, that just gives a color or a block of color and a name that tells you what that block of color is. So you can quickly see what's in the floor without having to have had manually sat down and written out a legend saying, this is this and this is that. And you haven't had to go around and put fills over all of the rooms with different colors and stuff to show what everything is. Give us a couple more minutes and hopefully we'll be loaded. And another area where we tend to use this too is for like creating your fire cells. So I was updating it for you. So basically, each zone is in a fire cell, so you can quickly click your zones, tell them what fire cell they're in, and then you can create a drawing quickly and simply to show the different fire cells, things like that. Various other things. Also for trying to define different objects or find specific objects and stuff that you may have used incorrectly, like maybe to find if someone's used the wrong window or door type, you can tell it to, look for this type of door and highlight them all red. Another good practice I've seen is some companies will have like a rule that says in every rule set, and it'll say something like anything that's on a missing layer, turn it pink, or anything that doesn't have a structural or location property, say, turn it pink, so that it immediately highlights issues that you can deal with on the fly rather than having to go find those issues all the time. So here's the legend, the selector. So this is basically just created as a schedule. It looks for what's in the floor plan on this page and lists it all out. So basically not every page will necessarily have every line, but if it's on that page, it will show up. So hopefully it gives you some ideas of how you can use your graphic overrides to save you time and find mistakes and fix those quickly and create less stress in your project. And also for these presentation purposes, to make it quick and easy to manage. One thing to keep in mind though is that, like on these big projects where we're hot linking files, that if you make a change to a property in a VT file, a hot link file, that you need to basically export that property and then import it into the master file where that file is going to go. Otherwise, it will end up with a sort of like a double up in the properties. It brings the one through from the VT, and it could be different than the one in the master copy. And also, if you make changes to a excuse me, if you make changes to a property set, to a graphic override set in a Vite file, make sure that you also bring that straight through to your file that you're going to import that through into before you import, because once you import that Vite into the master file, it then ends up recognizing the changed overrides as a new one in the master file. So yeah, that's graphical overrides. Hopefully that's helped, and hopefully see you again next week. Cheers.